as Canada grapples with weeks of devastating wildfires that have ravaged millions of hectares, displaced over 100,000 residents, and plunged the nation into a state of crisis. Experts are warning that the combination of a changing climate and human activities on the landscape will likely exacerbate fire seasons in the years to come. Firefighters from around the world have flown to Canada to assist, a nation stretched thin by an extraordinary spring fire season that has shattered records on both ends of the country, with warmer and drier months still ahead, according to the Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Centre. As of Friday, there were 421 active fires, down from 441 on Wednesday. The number of fires classified as out of control decreased from 256 on Wednesday to 230, partly aided by rainfall in certain regions of Quebec. So far this year, over 43,000 square kilometers have been consumed by the fires, making 2023 the second worst year on record. It is anticipated that this weekend will surpass the milestone set in 2014. Earlier this week, smoke from the Quebec fires wafted into the United States, causing air pollution and enveloping cities like New York and Detroit. The deteriorating air quality sparked a heated debate in the House of Commons, with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party accusing the Conservatives of not taking climate change seriously and opposing carbon taxes. Meanwhile, the Bloc Québécois and New Democratic Party criticized Trudeau's government for its perceived failures in climate action, including subsidizing fossil fuel companies and approving controversial resource extraction projects. Experts highlight that a changing climate, along with human-induced changes to the landscape, has contributed to the escalation of these destructive fires. Forests across the country have become increasingly parched in areas accustomed to heavy and prolonged rainfall. In Nova Scotia, where unprecedented fires have displaced tens of thousands of residents, the lack of rainfall during the early spring has further exacerbated the situation. Katrina Moser, chair of Western University's Department of Geography and Environment, emphasized the urgency of the situation, stating, "The snow is melting earlier, and the vegetation is drier. If you have an ignition, whether it's lightning or humans, that fuel just burns up really quickly. This year is unusual, no question about it, but I think it's also a bellwether of what we can expect in the future." Fire ecologist Robert Gray from British Columbia expressed concern over the impact on resource-dependent communities, warning that urgent collective action is necessary to prevent their physical, economic, and cultural devastation. He emphasized that although solutions are available, the forestry industry's reluctance to embrace large-scale shifts in logging and replanting, coupled with insufficient funding from provincial and federal governments, has hindered efforts to mitigate the destructive effects of fires. Gray stressed the need to introduce more fire breaks and barriers to hinder fire movement and transform landscapes. By diversifying forests with trees that are less susceptible to burning, such as mountain ash and fir, the spread of fires could be slowed. However, the required transformational changes have been impeded by industry ambivalence and inadequate financial support. In 2005, the Canadian Wildland Fire Strategy was developed, which estimated a need for CAD 2.32 billion, $1.74 billion United States dollars, to address wildfire risk. However, after a decade, only CAD 1.47 billion was allocated. Gray called for a sense of urgency and a substantial increase in investment to address the crisis, urging society and the economy to undergo necessary alterations to combat the challenges posed by climate change and natural disasters. The current wildfire situation has underscored the need for immediate action and a concerted effort to prioritize prevention and mitigation strategies. It serves as a stark reminder that the impact of climate change is becoming increasingly tangible, requiring governments, industries, and communities to take decisive steps to safeguard lives, ecosystems, and livelihoods.